Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. Oh, it is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have as opponent, we have the ESL Master Summer runner-up himself, representing himself. It's the South Korean Terran. It is GuMiho. God damn it. It's gonna be a short series, isn't it? As GuMiho is sending his first 2 SCVs and his 3rd SCV across the map as well. It's gonna be a proxy 3-racks coming out from GuMiho. This is gonna be very committed, can hit very hard as well. And we'll see how Dark responds to this. I'm pretty sure he is one to give up his natural. So the tricky thing about proxy 3-racks is that it can be sometimes difficult as the defending Zerg player to determine if it's a proxy 3-racks or a proxy 2-racks, because if you want to be efficient, both proxies require different responses. A 2-racks, you want to pull the boys, you want to preserve your natural base, because a 2-racks you can transition much easier, it's less committed. A 3-racks, you can afford to lose your 3rd base and you can go for your own roach counterattack and retake your 3rd as well. So we'll see what Dark decides to go for, we'll see how he reacts, we'll see if he can respond well enough here to preserve his bases and minimize damage, I should say. As these Marines are on the way. So what also should be happening here is, yep, GuMiho moves forward. He only reveals 2 SCVs as well. So again, he's trying to sell the story that it is a 2-racks. As the 2 SCVs are shown here to the Overlord. Bunkers are on the way. Dark is going to be pulling some boys to the low ground. I say some, a lot of boys are being pulled here. Dark wants to shut down these bunkers. He throws down one of those spine crawlers as well. He wants to try to hold on. With this, he's going to be zoning away these Marines. Lings are in production. The Lings are going to shut down the bunker. The drones are trying to shut down these Marines. So far, the star stepping is looking pretty damn good. Up, up. And we have not been able to surround those Marines. The target firing from GuMiho is too much, and it looks like GG gets called. GuMiho takes game number 1. GG. Remember earlier when I said that, like, when it's a 3-racks, you wanna give up your natural? Dark went for the 2-racks response, which is you pull the boys and you deny that bunker. Because it was 3-rackses, there were more Marines than Dark was really anticipating, and the star stepping and the target firing was really good from GuMiho. He made sure to focus down the drones that were leading the charge and made sure he never got surrounded. Again, the star stepping was impeccable, and just like that, GuMiho takes game 1. GG, well played. Yeah, sometimes that's just how it goes. Yeah. Feels proxy 3-racks, man. Catching up with the chat. I think his GF's birthday, at least his tournament ended yesterday. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. That's really cool to hear. Shout out to Wardy. Hope they're enjoying themselves. Hope they're having a good time. Ooh. As we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming down in this series of a proxy 3-racks. Feels bad, man. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing himself. He is the ESL Masters Summer runner-up. It is GuMiho. I'm seeing this chat catch up. Yeah. I remember famously, it was Rainer. Famously, it was Rainer who said, I think it was during a Home Story Cup broadcast, how whenever you're a Zerg and you're playing against a proxy Rax, it's just you flip a coin. You flip a coin and either you roll correctly that it's a 2 Rax, or you roll incorrectly and you're dead. That's why there are actually some Zerg players that whenever they get proxy Rax and they see 2 SCVs, they just go for the 3 Rax response anyway. Regardless of whether it's a 2 Rax or a 3 Rax, they just immediately go for the 3 Rax response, just because it's like kind of the best of both. It's not even the best of both worlds. It's just, you know, it's a little bit less risky, and sure, like you'll play from behind if it's a 2 Rax, but at least you're alive and at least like you have a chance. As we're getting into game 2, and this time GuMiho, he's going to be chilling out back at home instead. Is going to be going for that SCV scout. Is going to be skipping his Reaper as well. As he skips the Reaper, he's going to have a faster Marine, and he's going to try and shut down this Overlord. The Overlord should be able to get onto that pillar in time. Shouldn't go down unless we do something crazy. And I was going to say, unless you do something crazy and lift up the Rax, which is exactly what we're doing. We are lifting up the Rax, and we will get a kill on this Overlord. So really nicely done here by GuMiho. Is going to supply block Dark quite a bit. And GuMiho even just to make sure he doesn't fall behind in production, he just lands his Rax and just makes a Marine in front of his natural. You love to see it. Marines are moving out across the map. Bunker is thrown down behind the mineral line. This has not been scouted by Dark. He has no idea what's going on. Oh, and he is only making... Okay, he's making 10 links behind this. My god. He really wants to shut down these Marines. Can they make their way to the bunker? Oh, and it looks like they will. Dark hasn't realized what's been going on. The bunker has been revealed, and it will finish. Oh my god, we're reducing even more surface area. This is so dirty. Behind this is a 1-1-1 opener, by the way, so we can go into faster Hellions, we can go into a faster Banshee as well. Okay, we are going to cancel this bunker, though, with plenty of Lings to defend. We are going to eventually reclaim control of this third base. And GuMiho gets forced back. Now, Dark is lucky that he made 10 Lings, or he made 12 Lings, actually. If he didn't make 12 Lings when he saw those Marines, then this bunker, the second bunker, would have finished. I do think that it would have finished as... Oh my god. GuMiho is going for a 1-1-1 follow-up into... Oh god, no! Into a fusion core, but the Ling slips in. The wall was not a wall. Dark, he has spotted the fusion core. He knows, and I hope that he clicked on it. I think he did, as Queens are in production. The jig is up. A little bit of a misstep there by GuMiho. To not raise that depot and keep his opponent in the dark. Oh boy. And we'll see how he follows up from here. Of course, GuMiho now knows that he got scouted, and he is going for his third base as we speak. So it's not going to be a two-base all-in or anything like that. He is transitioning. I'm worried that Dark didn't see what was going on because there are no spores. He is amassing queens, don't get me wrong, which is a good thing, but without spores, there's no anchor point here, so I am still a little bit concerned here for Dark for his safety. As Yamato is on the way. With Yamato, this should be for mech as well. We should be headed towards even more factories. Yamato and Bio isn't really... You don't really see that too often, but we'll see. We'll see if Stim does randomly start up. As the Hellions are moving out, looking for map control, ideally hoping to pull these queens out of position. Spores are now being thrown down, thankfully, at the natural, at the main, and in the third base. So these BCs shouldn't do too much damage. And no, we do have Stim on the way, as well as another Rax. This is crazy. Okay. I kind of love this. So the first BC teleports across the map. We are going into Bio, not mech. Dark has no idea. And especially if we reveal Yamato a little bit later on as well, before we show our hand, then I love the idea of just hiding that information and just selling Dark a story that leads to nothing. As 6 drones do go down in the main, Queens were not in position. And the second BC is on the horizon. Roachhorn is thrown down, which makes plenty of sense. A Spire as well. The Spire for the BCs, Roaches for the Hellions and the Cyclones. Again, Dark is going for the standard response. The Marines and the Bio have not been revealed yet. Now, to be fair, Dark plays Roach Ravager against Bio anyway. Like, it's it's not too much of a big deal, but regardless, I love what GuMiho is doing. As the BC is going to be just pressuring this 4th base time and time again. We have a second BC rocking up as well. Yamato is done. We force a cancel on the 4th. And with these Yamatos, we can kill 2 Queens basically for free if we do get within range. Dark, yeah, he's working towards +1 range and +1 melee. So these are the upgrades you typically get against mech, of course, because Carapace doesn't really help you against Cyclones and tanks. But the Overseer dives in, and we get eyes on all the production. And there we go. Immediately, +1 Carapace is started, and we cancel +1 melee. Makes plenty of sense. Like, you need Carapace against Bio, and thankfully Dark was able to confirm. BCs are being swatted away by the Mass Queen. But again, thankfully Dark was able to recognize what was going on, and he's going to be able to adapt as well. Raptors are on the way. Dark double expanding as we speak. Hopefully he can get at least one of these hatcheries up and running, and hopefully he isn't contained to 3 bases for too much longer. As GuMiho races back home, and he's going to be repairing these BCs. But now that Stim is done, he can be active here with his Bio army. At the same time, we have Hellions. At the same time, we have BC. Like, I love it. We have a tri-prong attack being set up by GuMiho. Hellions threatening the center of the map. Marines, they dive in on the left-hand side. They get 2 Queens. Already a good amount of damage being done. Oh, the Corruptors have arrived, though, and they're going to be able to shut down these medevacs. 1 full medevac goes down. A massive pick-off. Oh, the second medevac as well. These Corruptors are so tanky. BCs are trying to slide on in. But with the death of those 2 medevacs, Dark, he's done really well for himself. Unfortunately, the Queens and the Corruptors are out of position, and this space is under threat. But BCs don't do an amazing amount of DPS to buildings. So here we go. The hatchery is being focused down. We do have Yamatos available as well. The Corruptors are going to be able to respond. Can they save that hatchery? Oh, it's going to be close. Up. Oh my god, the Yamatos do snipe the hatchery in the end. GuMiho teleports the hell out of there. I was really curious if he was going to Yamato the base itself or the Corruptors, and yeah, he did have enough DPS there to kill that base. But Dark does at least get a hatchery up and running. He's got his 4th, fully operational. 5th, attempted to be retaken. Going for another double drop here into the main. Behind this, 2-2 on the way. Another Marine force being sent towards the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We do drop into the main base, and the spawning forward's going to go down. Dark didn't see this coming ahead of time. Didn't have Overlords in position. Now, Corruptors are going to shut down the drop. Or at least zone it away. And as Dark is distracted, that is going to create an opening here for GuMiho to clean up so much of this creep in the center of the map. Doesn't find too much more damage, though. I assumed that he was going to be trying to hit this 5th base, but the 5th is going to go uncontested. He's going to be able to get up and running. Throughout all of this, the macro from GuMiho has been pretty insane, and we are up to 8 tanks. Sorry, 9 tanks. 9 tanks, a good amount of bio. 2-2 is about to kick in a couple of seconds, just in time for this push. Very crisp timing here out of GuMiho. BCs are still a threat. One of them headed towards the main base. The other going to be heading towards the bottom right. But here we go. Do we have enough to support these tanks? Tanks are falling left and right, and it looks like we don't. We just don't have the marine count. Even though we had so many tanks, we just didn't have enough to protect them, and GuMiho loses his entire army. Very important fight for Dark, and with that, he has so much breathing room. The tank count was reset. GuMiho is going to be stuck at home for quite some time. The BCs are doing what they can, but even though GuMiho did hit a really good timing with his 2-2, maybe should have waited a little bit longer for another wave of Marines. Anything here to protect those tanks. And yeah, now, even though GuMiho has been doing so much damage throughout this entire game, even though he's been getting so much value, it was maybe all for nothing. As at least he's still getting value with these BCs. Like the battlecruisers has been getting quite a lot of drone kills. Bases, queens, overlords. GuMiho is going to be able to remax and rebuild, but this push is far later. Now Dark is that much more prepared for it. Has been able to swat away those BCs, and now everything is coming together. Do we have any Vipers? We do not. Okay, we're just going to try to push up this ramp. I don't know about this for Dark. Oh. It looks like he's trying to bust on through, and he gets the majority of the tanks, but 3 of them do survive, and this was an ill-advised fight for Dark. He came in from one angle. The surround was delayed. Up a ramp into all those tanks. I don't think Dark realized how many tanks that were waiting for him on top of that ramp. And GuMiho takes a pretty efficient fight. At the same time, BC's once again harassing here on the right-hand side. Corruptors are forced to respond. Dark actually working towards Ultras as we speak. Do we have Kindness? We do not. We don't have any of the Ultra upgrades. BCs do take down another hatchery. Raider Spire is on the way. Without Vipers, it's difficult to break these entrenched positions. But here we go. Dark is going in for it once again. This time from a better angle, but it does look like one of those angles did come in a little bit too soon. Yeah, like Dark trying to push up this ramp, it's not going to work out for him. The Lingbane gets cleaned up, the Ultras are exposed. He takes down the final tank at least with that one bile. He trades okay. it was an okay trade for Dark. Not amazing. As GuMiho is still holding on to this position. At least Dark kept his Ultras alive. I think if Dark lost the Ultras, GuMiho probably would have kept counterattacking and kept pushing. Thankfully, the 3 Ultras survived, and Dark is able to transfuse and hold on. Now we can take a moment here to take stock. To breathe, as we do have Ultra Speed on the way. 3-3 as well. Dark has a pretty good economy. Is lacking spellcasters. I think that's the biggest issue with a lot of these fights, is we're lacking either Blinding Clouds or Fungals. No Infestors, no Vipers. Just pure Lingbane Ultra, which can do well, but I feel like Lingbane Ultra, it excels the most when it comes in from multiple angles and surrounds the army. These Marines of GuMiho. They're trading pretty efficiently. Yeah, that was not a good fight for Dark. Loses a lot of Lings. It's a meat grinder. But yeah, when you're this heavily reliant on a Lingbane Ultra army, like, you have to rely so much on surrounds, on really good fights, really good angles. As the BCs teleport over towards the right-hand side of the map. At the same time, here we go. Dark, he gets a surround on the Bio army. And as the Marauders get cleaned up, the tanks are exposed once again. Tanks on their own aren't too terrifying, they aren't too threatening, and every single tank's gonna go down. This is the fight that Dark was looking for. And it looks like he has enough momentum. He breaks the center base. He's breaking the reinforcements as well. GuMiho being forced all the way back, losing 23 SCVs. Up until this moment, it did feel like GuMiho was fighting better. He was taking better trades. but one fight is all it took to swing things in Dark's favor. Now GuMiho is down in the economy, he's down in the army. Drops 40 supply. There's no teleport. BC's gonna go down. BC's even get cleaned up as well. And I wouldn't say that GuMiho's out of this, but now GuMiho doesn't have any like momentum. He has no staying power. He's stuck being more defensive. He has to rebuild his army, rebuild his economy. And Dark has that much more freedom. He's going into Infestors as we speak. 3-3 is about to finish up as well. And Dark can start going for run-bys. He can start going for counterattacks. So far, the economy of GuMiho has been left pretty untouched outside of losing his center base. But now Dark, he can afford to go for run-bys. Wings are being split off. Broodlords are on the way. I really appreciate that, especially now that the BCs have been dealt with. So there's no need to have these corruptors. Wings, they take down the bunker, take down a couple of workers. Investors on the way here. And GuMiho has been given the time that he needs to rebuild, to remax, this time with Ghost, but oh my god, he has to be very careful. Has a massive fungal, does connect with the Bio Army. And Darky comes in from behind. Once again, a beautiful engage. The Lings, the Banelings do crash into those Marines. Broodlords arrive on the front lines, and there are no answers to the Broodlords. Not anymore, the Ghosts have all gone down. With the death of those Ghosts, that may just be the death of GuMiho. He's microing his heart out. He's doing the best that he can with what he has. But GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. Oh. But that was wild. The opener was wild as well, to go for the initial bunker behind the third base, to go for those Marines into BCs, into bio play. Things were looking really solid for GuMiho for so long. But Dark was able to persevere. He was able to, you know, have a stable enough economy to build up a strong enough army. He was waiting for that one big engage, and yeah, all it took was one big fight where GuMiho... actually, to be fair, it was 2 big fights. It was 2 big fights where GuMiho's tank count was reset. Unfortunately, did overextend. And with that, we have an ace match. We have a game 3. Catch him in the chat. Finally, a decent fight for Dark. Yeah. Like, that was such an important fight for Dark. Like, it didn't, like, he didn't just win the engagement. He also got that center base, if you remember. He got the planetary. He got the entire mineral line as well. Like, everything snowballed suddenly in favor of Dark off of the back of that fight. And, oh, yeah, that's pretty intense. GG. GG, well played. Looks like the players need a moment, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. They need a moment, and Game 3 is going to be taking place on Grassfarm. Here we go. Grassfarm, an interesting map, a very defensible map. We've seen Grassfarm cut in half more than once, many times actually. Oh. We're gonna have to remake the lobby. But yeah, we've seen Grassfarm split in half multiple times. The reason for that is because there are so many high ground positions, or so many different like points of elevation where the defender just has such a big advantage. So many choke points as well. So this could go to the late game, depending on how things, or how the players play it out, of course. This isn't a bad map for mech either. I don't know if... GuMiho is one to play mech, so if he wants to, he can whip it out here on Grassfarm. Wouldn't be a bad choice. Is an option for him, is an option. But We shall see. As we're going to be loading on in. Oh, and I don't blame the players for needing a moment after that game. I don't blame them at all. It's very intense, very back and forth. Especially considering that, you know, for these online weekly tournaments, there is no lower bracket, there is no second life. One and done, Papi. That's all it is. All it is. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gress Farm, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon KyZ Gaming. Oof. Tying up the series 1-1 in that last game, it is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran. Representing himself, the ESL Masters Summer runner-up. It is GuMiho. And I think that's the thing that I love the most about casting GuMiho and watching GuMiho is that he is not the most standard Terran player out there. I equate him a lot with Ragnarok, for example, when it comes to the other Korean players of his same race. Ragnarok, likewise, can be cheesy, he can be hyper-aggressive, he can macro as well, don't get me wrong, but Ragnarok is really unpredictable as a player. And I think I would say the same about GuMiho. We saw that last game, right? It's like, how often do other Terran players go for BCs in this current meta, in this day and age, in TvZ? Bjorn doesn't do it, Mario doesn't do it, Clem doesn't do it. Like, it's very unique to GuMiho. He's a very unique player, he's very stylistic, which is always great to see. And I think that was really showcased quite heavily as well in his series against Cyril in ESL Masters Summer, where GuMiho was kind of playing outside of the norm as well, keeping Cyril on his toes. It was a good finals. It was a good series. So yeah, the question becomes, what will we see? What will we see here in game number 3? I know Dark is one to roach rush, especially on Gressvan as well. Can make use of some of these attack pods before the third base and fourth get fully operational. You can hit some pretty nasty timings with roaches. But we'll see. So far we have a Rax expand from GuMiho, nothing too crazy. This time going for that Reaper, going for that scout across the map. He actually skipped his SCV scout, which was pretty interesting. Just moving out with his Reaper instead. Meanwhile, Dark did go for a hatch gas pool opener, and we have that third base on the way as well. Oh. As Reaper is just going to be dancing here with these lings, poking, prodding, just being a little bit annoying, getting a ling if possible. GuMiho checks the third base location. He hasn't checked the linear third yet, but he is now headed in that direction, and should confirm that, okay, Dark isn't doing anything crazy, he's not going for a 2-base all-in. Everything is looking normal. And behind this, GuMiho is going for a 3cc before starport, so very economic, a very stark... The contrast is real here between game 1 and 2 and game 3 here for GuMiho. Game 1, of course, he proxied. Game 2, he went for a 1-1-1 opener. Very aggressive opener here from GuMiho in game 2. But here in game 3, very macro-oriented. Very economic. But GuMiho is going to be switching gears. With this, he should be going for an add-on swap, but it's GuMiho, so I don't know if I can make any predictions about him anymore. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is so weird. So typically, this would be a 3cc Banshee opener. You go for the add-on swap and you make a Banshee, so you're safe against roaches specifically. Like the Banshees, they can make you safe against roaches, and you can also counterattack and do some economic damage. But GuMiho is going for a Cyclone first and a Medevac. He's going for a Cyclone drop, or a Cyclone drop alongside Marines. Interesting. Very interesting. Meanwhile, Dark is sending his lings across the map. The goal here is that Dark, with this Overlord, he waits for the Hellions to move out, and then the lings move in. But there are no Hellions, because we've been making Marines. Now we're going for the add-on swap. Far later than normal, but on the way nonetheless. Marines have been spotted. Dark looking to do whatever he can with these lings. It looks like he will get an SCV, maybe 2. Up. Get a second SCV, and he forces this drop to be revealed as well. Dark is moving out with his Lings again. He's hoping to try and catch his opponents exposed while the army moves out. He's trying to find a way in towards that natural. Meanwhile, the drop is making its way across the map. Hellions have come out, and with the arrival of these Hellions, GuMiho should be fine. Yeah. Dark just trying to be a little bit cheeky. And we are still going for Cloak Banshees. It's just delayed. It's just delayed Cloak Banshees here in favor of this drop. And I mean, we're getting Overlords, to be fair. 2 Overlords went down. Can we get a third? Maybe. Oh! The Lings have arrived. Queens are looking to zone away this drop as well. Oh my god, GuMiho being so annoying though. He does find a really nice position and he really does want that third Overlord. Can he get it? Up! Couple more shots. We can't transfuse. Oh, and the third Overlord goes down. Hellions come in to reinforce the Lings. They don't really pose too much of a threat at all. Can we get a Queen? This is snowballing a little bit out of control. The Queen does go down. Another Queen is about to fall as well. The Lings, they can't really engage. They're trying to. Oh, and it looks like Dark is finally going to force us back for a little bit, but the Banshee arrives, and this is snowballing out of control. The Queens are falling. Is this how it ends? Oh, no. Not like this, as... again, we're running out of transfused energy. It looks like we are finally forcing back GuMiho, but there is no detection. That one Banshee is going ham here on the Queens. Medevac is being focused and it will finally fall. God, but how many more Queens are we getting? Oof. Looking at the Unisource tab, 32 Lings, 3 Overlords, and 5 Queens. My god. And GuMiho wasn't all in. It was a 3cc opener. He's fine. And he's playing into mech. God. Ay, ay, ay. Lings are looking for a counterattack. If the Hellions stayed at home, we would be fine, but oh, GuMiho is moving out, so his mineral line is exposed. Uh-oh. Reinforcements do come out, but the Lings, they get a surround on the Cyclone, they get a surround on the Hellions as well. And GuMiho is losing a lot of SCVs across the map, though he dives into a mineral line, and he's also getting a lot of drones. Uh-oh. Both players are going to be hurting here in the economy. Mules fall as well. 21 SCVs go down here at the third base. At the same time, 14 drones go down across the map. In the end, Dark did do more damage because it wasn't just 21 SCVs, it was also the mules. I want to say like 2 or 3 mules went down, as well as the Cyclone. I do think that Dark did come out a little bit better there, especially now that he's been able to drone up to 70. So it was very unfortunate for GuMiho to be caught out in the middle of moving out as well. And now GuMiho's lost a lot of momentum. Has lost a lot of momentum, but he's going to try and keep the pressure on. We have 2 Banshees dipping into the main base. We've got some Hellbats waddling into the 4th. Sorry, waddling into the 3rd. Hellbats don't find too much damage. The Queens are in position. The Queens were remade even. But the Banshees do end up killing that Spore. Gonna get a couple of drones as well. Not too bad. Lings go for a counterattack, but there's plenty of him to defend. GuMiho does hold on to his 3rd base this time. He is gonna be forced back. And Dark is slowly stabilizing. I wouldn't say he's there yet. He's really lacking in army. He's got 10 roaches to his name and a lot of queens, to be fair, but he doesn't really have enough to really stop this creep from being denied. Oh, as I say that, bit of an overextension. One Cyclone does go down for free. GuMiho rotating over towards the north instead. As he moves out, another Ling run by is headed towards the 4th base. And oh, the 4th is an orbital. Very greedy here out of GuMiho. Is that greed going to be punished? I mean, we have plenty of Banshees back at home. I didn't really get to put too much emphasis on it, but GuMiho is going for the new kind of battle mech style that isn't just Hellion Cyclone, it's Hellion Cyclone Banshee. Very maneuverable, very terrifying. Did thankfully have the Banshees back at home to defend. It is now going to be able to push out and try to punish some of these roaches. He's looking for damage. Banshee speed is done. Hyperflight rotors kicking in. And with that, he's going to be able to punish this center base. We're going to be forced to cancel. Meanwhile, the Hellions, they do get lock-ons on these roaches as well. Dark is going to be losing quite a bit of supply. But he's setting up a surround. He's coming in from behind, and GuMiho, he didn't see it coming. Oh my god, the surround is real, and GuMiho's going to lose everything. Ay, ay, ay. The Banshees are doing well for themselves, but the ground army has fallen, and now Dark is going for a massive counterattack. And I don't think we have enough to defend at home. If we had the Banshees, then sure, but the Banshees are even going down to some of these Queens. Meanwhile, the Lings are wreaking havoc in the middle line. The Roaches are zoning away these Cyclones. And it looks like GuMiho has been broken. GG gets called. Dark takes game number 3 and the series 2-1. GG. Which is pretty crazy. Despite the fact that GuMiho went for a much more mobile army composition, right? Like Hellions, Cyclones, Banshees, he was being very active with them. But that kind of worked against him as well. Because he was so active, he rarely had anything at home to defend against these Ling counterattacks, these Roach counterattacks. Oh, and I guess his attention was pulled apart a little bit too much. Dark, with that full surround, was exactly the moment that he was looking for. Sure, he was like losing a couple of Roaches and Roaches and Queens here and there. But it was worth it in the end. It was worth it for the cause. GG gets called, and Dark advances on to the grand finals. GG, well played.